Colin, what's on the show today?
I am perplexed, utterly confused, don't have an answer, and you're going to have to explain it to me as we get ready for the two biggest football games all year in America coming up.
Thanks, Colin. Time for our final topic of the day. Tom Brady was at practice yesterday but did not participate after injuring his throwing hand on Wednesday. He is expected to play in the AFC Championship game against the Jags on Sunday. So, Shannon, how do you think Brady will play?
I think Brady will be just fine. I think the story is being blown out of proportion by Skip and others. I expect Brady to go out there and be Tom Brady and do what he's always done in these games, and I expect him to play well. But we will know early on whether the thumb is as injured as everyone is leading you to believe, or at least as much as Skip Bayless believed, because he was third in attempts over 20 yards. He was third in completion. So they'll push the ball down the field early, I believe, to let Jacksonville know that he's still capable of throwing the ball down the field.
For the first time in the history of Undisputed, I hope you're right. I hope this is a bunch of hocus pocus, a bunch of embellishment and exaggeration. To what end, I have no idea. But Tom Brady at 1,000% will have a hard time with this defense. Everything matches up great for, not just well, but great for Jacksonville. I think it's going to be low scoring, even though the weather's going to be nice. I don't think Brady will be 100% for this game. I think they're going to have to just dink and dunk and try to pull off a 17-14 kind of survival game.
They do a lot of that anyway, Skip. Their offense, I mean, yeah, they'll push the ball down the field, but he's perfectly comfortable dumping the ball out to the running backs and Amendola close to the line of scrimmage and let them break a tackle and get 5 or 6 yards.
That's it for us. We'll be back Monday at 9:30 Eastern. Right now, Colin Cowherd can't believe people are rooting against Tom Brady. The Herd starts now.
This is The Herd. Wherever you may be and however you may be listening, live in Los Angeles. iHeartRadio, Fox Sports Radio, and FS1. Christine Leahy is joining me on a Friday.
I heard that there's some Insta stories of your date last night.
I had a big date with Michael Rappaport, Jason Whitlock. I don't feel great this morning. I drank nothing but water, but I had a piece of cake at the end that was regrettable.
I'm going to have to check this all out, and I'm assuming you had the butter cake. It's amazing.
I have a cake hangover.
I believe it. That's a great cake.
It is. Most things in sports, I like sports. I read a lot about sports. I played sports. I'm into sports. And I've been doing it long enough where generally I can figure out answers. You know, I can figure stuff out. Then there's stuff like that's puzzling. I don't really understand that. I am hearing that there are a lot of people rooting against New England this morning. The line is 7.5, moving down to 7 because Tom Brady's hand's questionable. I don't think it's a big deal. The only problem Brady's going to have with that grip is when he grabs the Lombardi trophy, he won't quite have the strength as he had before the injury. But let me ask you something. When you wake up Monday morning, you want Jacksonville in the Super Bowl. I want you to think about that. Because a lot of times in life you do things, then you regret them. Jacksonville against Nick Foles. 2 weeks of talk. That's turning you on. Do you also go and watch the worst movie available at the theater? Do you go to the restaurant and order filet mignon? Or do you say, you guys have an E. coli burger? I'd like the salmonella. Really, you're rooting for Jacksonville. Monday morning, you're going to wake up and you've got Jacksonville. The biggest sporting event in America, a party. You'll have friends over. It's for a lot of people, they're not even sports fans, and that's a huge, huge day. And you want Jacksonville in that game. Not the best coach ever, not the best quarterback ever, not the reigning dynasty ever. I hear this, too. Tom Brady, Colin, is boring. Oh, really? Touchdown passes are boring to you. Brady to Gronk, efficiency, running backs who never fumble, really smart coaching. That's boring to you. You know what I consider boring? Inefficiency. I find it tedious. You know, you go to get a coffee in the morning and it takes 15 minutes because the lady behind the counter's gabbing. Oh, my God, oh, my God. And you're like, can you just take my order? I came in. I'm on my way to work. Can we get this process done? I like efficiency. You like inefficiency. Okay. And I don't find touchdowns boring and efficiency boring and excellence boring. I find Blake Bortles' 59% completion rate boring. That means barely more than a coin flip. When he lets go of the ball, somebody will catch it. 24th in completion percentage, 16 in touchdowns. That's less efficient. You want to watch incompletions. Riveting. I'm going to go Brady Gronk. Best tight end I've ever seen, maybe. Best quarterback I've ever seen, absolutely. Smartest coach. Don't make mistakes. Outthink you at every turn. That's a turn on for me. 7 times this year, Blake Bortles played in a football game and threw for 160 yards or less. Can you imagine that Super Bowl against that Viking defense in Minnesota? You want to watch Blake Bortles, who is inefficient at home, against that Vikings defense in Minnesota. That's going to be a hell of a party at your house. People say a lot of things. I understand that. I love bookstores. We had them. You didn't go. Amazon's where you order books and have for a decade. I hate the Yankees. Ratings go up every time they're on. Remember George Mason? This always happens in the Final Four. Everybody's like, Duke stinks. I hate Calipari. George Mason gets to the Final Four. They did once. You know what happened? Ratings plummeted. Nobody watched. But you go to Twitter, you retweet, I love Saxonville. Because I understand that there's always somebody that wants to, like the cool thing. You want to say something contrarian because it makes it, it's like conspiracy theories. I got something nobody else has. You see that all the time. Ringo Starr was my favorite Beatle. I preferred Yoko. Yeah. Really, it wasn't Michael Jackson. I was into Tito. There's always going to be that guy. Retweet Saxonville. But ask yourself, you watched anything on Netflix this week? Take an Uber? Ordered anything on Amazon? Stopped off at Starbucks to get a coffee? You know why you did all 4 of those? You like efficiency. Jacksonville isn't. New England is. You don't know it, but you're turned on by the Patriots. You can root against them in the Super Bowl. You can absolutely root against them against Minnesota or Philadelphia. I get that. You want them to be in the Super Bowl. Okay? You want them in there. Because you don't want to be hosting that party. And like 6 people don't show up because Blake Bortles is facing Nick Foles. Dude, parties are better when cooler people are at parties. Number 12 on your screen, you want him as part of your party. I mean, I was sitting there this morning thinking about this, and I'm like, if Jacksonville makes the Super Bowl, if you put it up there next to the NFL Super Bowl logo, it doesn't even look right. It looks like a cereal mascot. It's like that's the team in the Super Bowl? Okay. It's like a Pixar film. Let me segue to this. So they do this NBA voting thing. They've made it so confusing. The fans get 50% of the vote, and the players get 50% of the vote, and the media gets 25% of the vote. And it's just all this. It's all confusing, and the players don't even take it seriously. I mean, the players are kind of make a joke of the whole process. I'm looking at the guys the players voted into the All-Star game, and it's just ridiculous. There's guys I've never even heard of on teams I like. So the players don't take it seriously. The fans, I understand it, but they don't really watch the game. They root for their home guy. And the media, again, if you cover the Charlotte Hornets, you can't see a lot of teams. It's got to be a simpler way to do this. But I thought, the story today is, hey, LeBron finished second among the players. So what? He was number 1 with the fans. He was number 1 with the media. And he narrowly lost out Greek Freak, who's a really fun guy to watch. He's new. He's fun. It was narrow. It was this close. Big deal. And there's also some LeBron fatigue. He's been in the league forever. He's been the best player. It's like Tom Brady. There's some fatigue. But I have all the voting here. Fans, players, media. You know who got dissed? I was shocked this morning. Russell Westbrook. You all loved him a year ago, Mr. Triple-Double. You loved him, MVP. If I even suggested he shouldn't be MVP last year, I got more hate mail than I've ever received in my life. Russell Westbrook, among Western Conference guards, is the 4th most popular with fans, 3rd with players and media. If you add Kyrie in, who's also a terrific player, He is the 5th most popular guard among fans. And I would argue he certainly has the most explosive, dynamic game. It's easy to like him as a fan. He can drive you crazy maybe as a GM or a coach, but as a fan, he's hella fun to watch. He's now 5th. 5th. Mr. MVP, triple-double. 5th most popular, not player, guard. Last year, he was number 1 media, number 1 among the players, and they've both moved off him. The shine's off Russell Westbrook because people now realize what I preached. Triple-double is stat pumping, and in the end, it doesn't win you finals. And the second thing you're learning, Kevin Durant is better without him. Paul George is struggling with him. And did you see what happened to Victor Oladipo this year? He left Westbrook. Damn, dude's 24 a game. He's an all-star. Just think about that. What I preached for a year is, I'm not denying his talent. I've said it before. If I had one ticket to go watch one guy, I'm not so sure it wouldn't be Westbrook. But now he's the 5th most popular player a year after being number 1. For 2 reasons. You're now agreeing with me. He was a stat pumping. And number 2, Paul George, Victor Oladipo, and KD, better without him. I won't even mention James Harden, because at that point they had to get rid of him, salary cap. But look at all the players in the league that have been with him and left. Harden's amazing. Kevin Durant's better. Paul George is struggling. And Victor Oladipo is now an all-star? 6 months removed from him? LeBron isn't getting dissed. You start looking at those votes, Westbrook got dissed. And he is, in my opinion, the most dynamic player in the league. Generally, the most dynamic player is arguably the most popular. A year later, even among guards, number 5. All right, interesting story broke today. And, wow. Not a lot of times there's a wow, but this is a wow. And it's coming up next. What will your story be in 2018? Now the holiday rush is over. You want to make it a memorable year? I'm kind of going through this right now. You want to get stuff buttoned up in your life? Maybe it's a will. Maybe it's an estate plan. Maybe it's whatever it is. It's a prenup. Like, get it done now, all right? Make this the year you get serious about stuff and get it done early in the year. Don't put it off. Your family's future, estate plan, a will, a prenup. Is there such thing as a postnup? I don't know. LegalZoom's been helping people take care of their dreams and mostly their responsibilities for 16 years. They're not a law firm, but they have the resources, independent attorneys in 50 states to button up your life. Doesn't matter if it's you want to take your business to the next level or you kind of want to get your family taken care of. Get off to a strong start in 2018 at LegalZoom.com. Basically, LegalZoom is where your life meets your legal. LegalZoom.com, code Colin, COLIN.
Right now at Burger King, mix and match 2 crispy chicken or Whopper sandwiches for just $6. That's